What is an operating system? You have a hardware, means you have a motherboard. Okay, you have your hardware part, right? Like you have a CPU, RAM, hard disk, networking. So everything, all hardware components are there. That's we have seen each and every hardware component, how it is works, how it is there. Okay. Next, you want to run an application, or you want to run a something like I'm working on my paintbrush, right? That is an application. So I want to interact with my PC. I want to run an application. I do want to some commands. I want to run some program or an application on the hardware. How can I do it? You cannot do it directly because the hardware understandable language is different from what are the applications we are using. Okay, we cannot interact with the hardware directly. Like you want to do A plus B, you can't give direct A plus B instructions to your hardware. You have to give in the hardware understandable language. You have to give these instructions and data in the hardware understandable language. So what is the most helpful part? It is operating system. Operating system between your hardware and your applications and your user interface. Okay, so operating system interact with your hardware and run your applications, programs on the hardware devices. It helps you to do your it helps you to work with the computer. Guys, this is two parts like this. I'm splitting here. One arrow upside and another arrow downside. Means operating system interact with the hardware part. Operating system also runs user application. It provides an environment to run an applications, programs, or a interface like work user can able to work with the systems, applications, right? So that interface also is there. User interface. So this is a base point of operating system. So here is the some definitions. First of all, I'm giving link, then the topic is operating. Okay, so here it is. What is an operating system? Very simple and basic question, guys. It is what is an operating system? What is an operating system? It's a software or a program which act as an interface between end user and computer hardware. Okay, so it is a act as a interface between between end user, means the person who is using the computer, and the computer hardware. Okay, so that is our operating system. Every computer must have at least one operating tool operating system to run other programs. You want to do certain tasks, you want to run some application, you want to run some programs, you need an operating system. Like applications, of course, same thing only. To run an application like a Google Chrome, or maybe it is a MS Word, it is maybe a games, or you want to run a Java program, or maybe Python programming. So you need an operating system. Okay. So operating system provide that related environment to run these applications. OS help you to communicate with a computer without knowing how to speak computer language. What is a computer language, guys? Computer language is a low-level language. Means it's a binary language, hexadecimal languages are there. No? It's a kind of binary type language. In come to the last end, it is a binary language only. Okay. So you don't understand how to like every day, now everyone is working with the laptops. Even kids are working with the laptop, desktop, right? In a Corona time, Zoom meetings and even small kids. Okay, so mobile phones, through mobile phone, laptops, desktops, they are using to take the classes. Okay, so this is okay. So if you say like everybody must know the binary language, you have to code everything in binary language. You must do some PhD candidate. Okay, so without knowing anything about a computer language and all, simply you can open the computer and open an application and start using. So only because of you are having an operating system in it. It is not possible for user to use any computer or a mobile device without having an operating system. Okay, guys, up to here, okay? Hmm? No, remaining is okay. Guys, understand up to here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Guys, if you are not speaking, okay. I thought I'm disconnected or something. I have to tell again and again. That's why it is become late. One of the reason. Okay. Normally, think if you ask questions or if you speak, sir will tell more things. Then which is become very late. No. Okay. Guys, this is the operating system architecture. Operating system architecture. Here it is. Already I told I split operating system into two parts. One part is interacting with your hardware. So how to run a process in the CPU, how to manage memory kind of stuff, instructions, data, how to interact with your audio chip or video chip or network related connections. Okay. So like how to interact with your printer, Okay, so right, so how to interact with these hardware devices and how to manage the hardware components like a disk and all management. Okay, will done by kernel, part of operating system. Next one is shell. Shell will understand. Shell will actually provide a user interface. Shell runs the user applications and commands. Okay, shell will run the applications, commands, or instructions by user. So shell will understand and it will run. Okay, so shell interact with the user. So user, whatever the running application or a commands or anything, it convert into kernel understandable language. The kernel will understand your instructions, runs on the hardware. So your operating system basically two major parts. One is kernel, another one is a shell. So whenever you learn about a Linux operating system, whenever you learn about a Linux operating system, this kind of diagram is there. Okay, this kind of diagram, they will show. So to tell this is a uh, um, kernel and shell part. Okay, but when we are learning about Windows, people don't show. The difference is, guys, whatever the operating system, whatever the operating system, the operating system can be a Windows or a Linux or Mac operating system. Operating system is again three parts. Okay, one, so mainly an operating system wise, it is kernel, and then sorry, internally it is kernel. First I am writing user interface. Okay, okay, animation. Okay, yes, this is our hardware part. Hardware means what? CPU, RAM, hard disk, like that. This is our hardware related one. Okay, to interact with this hardware, we need a kernel. Some people like they know they change the wording like a kernel, kernel kind of stuff. So the kernel part is you use it to interact with your hardware. The next one is the shell part. This is a shell part. Shell is about this kernel, means it provide a user interface, run user applications, kind of stuff. Okay, so user is outside like this one. User interact with the shell. Okay, user interact with a shell, and shell runs a kind of applications, games, kind of stuff. Applications. And instructions, programs, whatever it is, you put a name, the shell is doing those kind of stuff. User is interacting with the shell. Okay, this is what I am trying to tell. Okay, so guys, what is this kernel will do? Kernel interact with the hardware, shell interact with the kernel interact with the hardware, shell interact with the users. That's what he is saying. What kernel is doing? Kernel manages hardware management like a disk management, process management, network management, memory management. Shell interact with the users. So, and shell provide a user interface. And shell runs in applications and execute your commands and stuff. Here in the Linux base, on Linux as a Linux wise, I am telling. So shell, the currently we are using Bourne against shell. That is called a bash shell. Earlier it is a shell is there, means a Bourne shell is there, and next version is Bourne against shell. That is called a bash shell. Not only this, there is a different shell environments also there. Why I told in a specifically Linux and Unix, guys, and why in Linux and Unix, if you join the course for Linux and Unix, you will go to this kind of diagram. Okay, you will go to this kind of diagram. So point is, okay, why? Because of in Linux and Unix, we can manage both kernel and shell in a direct shell operating system coding and uh, kernel operating system coding. We can get it how it is there. The program is there. We can know it. Okay, but in Windows we cannot modify anything related to kernel program or shell program. It is nothing but operating system, nothing but a program or a software which interact with your hardware and user and runs user applications and understand user commands, execute user commands and provide environment to run an applications. Interface kind of stuff, guys. Coming to the user interface, I told 2 or 3 times. So what is this user interface kind of stuff? Okay, what is this user interface? See, I'm working with my Windows laptop. Okay, so this is my Windows system. Everything is, can you see, as a window only. This is called a window, guys. This is a window. This is a window. Okay, this is a window. That's why it is a Microsoft operating system called a Windows. You know, there is a joke like a Microsoft founder name is Bill Gates, and his name is Bill Gates. And why he put his operating system as a Windows instead of Gates? Okay, it's just not a name, guys. It is window. Okay, because of we are working on a window. One thing. Next one is that's it. They initially put a Windows that's become permanent. Of course, if you have a Linux and Unix operating system, Mac operating system, those are also having window. Window means this is a window. Okay. So GUI, graphical user interface. These are interfaces. Windows is a mainly graphical user interface. Everything you can operate directly by looking at their icon or a selection of that program and interact with your application with a simple mouse clicks. Graphically means pictorial wise, not a command wise. we can able to interact. CLI, command line interface. If you see, for example, you think like this, your entire system, you can't see any icons, you can't see any mouse selections, or you can't see anything like it. Only command line. Anything you want to do it, so you have to put a command on it. Anything you want to do it in your system, you must give command only. Otherwise, you don't know what to do. You want to create a file, you will create a file with a command. You want to delete a file, you will do it with a command line only. So that is a command line interface. You want to check what process is running, you want to display a message, you want to transfer a data, you want to run an application, everything go through command line only. So that is a command line interface. Everything is a command. What is GUI? So do anything. So simply you can do it from a simple mouse click. Mouse interaction is there. You can see the application and interact with your applications and your system directly. Like you can view what it is, not just a simple commands. So that is a GUI, graphical user interface. Okay, guys. This is text-based interface. This is a kind of interface. You know, if anybody done Turbo C or a Turbo C++. So to save, to run means for compiling, for executing, for saving. Usually you go somewhere like a file option, you do it right. So that is like a mouse not there. Mouse interaction won't be there, but you will use up arrow, down arrow keys. Okay, so you don't do command and you don't give any graphical kind of interface is also not there. So simple managing. Simply you will go to keyboard shortcuts or up arrow, down arrow kind of stuff, and space enter. Then we can operate, right? So that is a text based or a terminal based interface. Okay, mainly user interfaces are CLI and GUI. TUI is not much very important, but still it is also there. Okay, guys, up to kernel and shell. Kernel interact with the hardware, manages hardware resources. Okay, executing means interact with your hardware components. That is a kernel part. The shell part is interact with a user, provide a user interface, run user applications, commands. Okay, and the different type of shells are there in Unix or Linux. Use currently we are using a Bourne shell. Okay, like that. Two main different type of user interfaces are there. CLI, command line interface. Another one is graphical user interface. Okay. Guys, are you understand up to here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Very good. Okay. Um, two more points are there, not two more points, 3 points are there. Then we'll take a break. Small things only, guys. These are all small definitions. It is not a and it is a scoring one. And it is a good scoring. Scoring means if any chance you got these small questions, you can be able to tell an answer. Okay, because it is not very hard question. No need to think more. Very simple thing. Okay, if you once read and try 2 times, you will remember. If you any chance if the person the interviewer asking question, tell me a different type of operating system. What is an operating system? Okay, what is use of operating system? What is kernel and shell? So 1 or 2 points. That is 2-3 points, that is enough. 2 to 3 points, that is not one. Don't stick to 2 to 3 points for each thing. Just tell very simple points, right? Whatever you got in a mind, just you tell, it is give scoring. Like, for example, I don't know how your technical interviews actually goes, because recently this grouping changes, keep changing of grouping, we don't know. Okay, for example, just for example, you got a 10 questions. How to score maximum in a 10 question, guys? Prepare basics, because most of the questions are basic questions. Until unless you slip a tongue, means some people say, I know Java, tell me, ask me in Java, then he will ask questions in Java. Okay, not difficult, even a basic. Some people won't able to tell a basic questions. So prepare whatever the topic, guys. It is you are already having a knowledge in your college, or maybe you learn from outside, or you learn from here. Whatever the knowledge, first of all, go with all basic questions only. First, complete the basic questions. In basic questions, again, one is what is what, what is this, what is OS layer, what are those 7 layers, what is application layer, what is presentation, like what is what. You have to keep reading that one. Basic. Differences. What is the difference between OS layer and TCP IP? I think I didn't complete that one. So we'll go to that one once again. On Monday or today, we'll see. Okay, what is the difference between OS and TCP IP? What is the difference between IPv4 and IPv6? What is the difference between router and switches? What is the difference between Windows and Linux? Like that. Okay, so differences. So if you are keep doing that one, so whatever the busy you think, whatever your jobs you are doing, outside working you are doing, guys, if you spend half an hour, just half an hour, and when you get a free time, just if you keep doing this one, it's not about only this profile, guys. It is also will help you in your career prospect. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, that is enough. The next one is type of operating systems. Type of operating system. Actually, not type of operating system, actually types of operating system. Different ways, different types are there. Different ways, different types are there. Okay. One is like a simple operating system, network operating system, simple operating system, network operating system. So in a simple operating system, guys, it is a kind of desktop operating system. It is a kind of desktop operating system, like a Microsoft DOS, Windows XP, Windows 7, Windows 10, Ubuntu. All these comes under desktop type of operating system. What is the use of desktop type of operating system? You want to run application. Okay, you want to run you're running an application. Okay, you want to play games, you want to do data processing or maybe multimedia kind of stuff. You're doing web browsing, playing games, or playing audio, video kind of stuff, and you are become a client to your server PC kind of stuff, end user devices. This is a desktop type operating system. Okay, desktop type operating system. Okay. So that is the desktop type of. Next one is network operating system. What is a network operating system? It is like a server operating system. Your Windows server operating systems are there, Linux operating system is there, Unix operating systems. These are all comes under server operating system. What is the use of server operating system? Server operating systems are provide a service through the network. Server operating system actually provide a services, different type of services, DHCP services, DNS services. Okay, server operating system by installing it support a server applications, built-in certain features are there. Okay, by installing certain services, built-in features, or by installing some applications, server applications, it become a server. Okay, like a DHCP server, DNS server, VPN server, web server, file server, mail server, okay, VPN server, database server, deployment server, like a different type of servers are there. Okay, that is what is the use of server operating system, guys. Server operating system contains certain built-in features. Okay, and also it is support server based applications. Server operating system not used for a general purpose. We don't use server operating system for a general purpose. Anyway, general purpose thing it won't support. Okay, like a regular web browsing. So web browser is there, but not as a regularly web browsing we are using. Or application, whatever the application we are want to run, we don't use that one. Playing games, like a audio video games, like a audio, like a, you want to watch a movie or you want to play a audio file, that is not for that purpose. Okay, video editing, these are all not main purposes. Okay, the main purpose of server operating system, server will provide a service to the clients. Server provide a service to the client. What kind of services? Web services, VPN services, DHCP services, DNS services, mail related services, okay, remote desktop related services, database services. Okay, so these services they are providing. So that is the main importance of a server operating system. Yes, understand SOS and NOS.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Next one is user and task base, means how many users can log into your PC. Okay, how many users can log into your PC. Okay, at a time, and how many tasks we can run in your PC at a time. So based on that type of voices, this is like a single user, single task, multi-user, multi-user, multitask, single user, multitask, single user, single task. Okay, next. So based on users and tasks, guys, single user, single task. It's an example is Microsoft DOS operating system. DOS is an operating system. So one single user, single task means one user can interact at a time and only one task at a time we can able to run. Single user multitask. Our all Windows operating system, both server and desktop based operating system comes under single user multitask. Means at a time only one user can able to log in and one multiple tasks we can able to do it, but only one user can able to log in either physically or remotely. Only one user at a time can able to log in. Multi-user multitask. So multi-user multitask means one system, multiple users can log in, either direct physically or remotely. Multiple users can able to log in at a time. Multiple tasks we can able to do it at a time. That is a multi-user, multitask. Example, Unix and Linux operating system. Not only these guys, there is a different type of operating systems are there. Real-time operating system, distributed operating system. Different type of operating system. One of the operating system, distributed operating. I'm giving only word, guys. I'm not going to explain anyway. Okay. Real-time operating systems in generally, if you are doing some satellite communication, rocket launching, your refrigerator, or maybe any automation related things you are doing. So instead of using a common operating system, okay, your mobile phones are Android mobile phones, iOS mobile phone, multiple devices, multiple companies are using this Android, right? Or iOS. Laptop, Windows operating system, Linux operating system, Unix operating system, Mac operating system. These are all common operating systems, means it's a general purpose. Any person can take it and use it for their hardware. Okay. But real-time operating systems are specially designed for a particular hardware purpose only. Okay, only to do certain tasks and to run their hardware and to do certain tasks, they are using real-time. That is, we have to design real-time operating system, program the real-time operating system based on the requirement. It is not general purpose, means it does not support multiple type of hardwares kind of stuff. Okay, that is real-time operating system. Mobile operating system, guys. Nowadays we are using a mobile phone. That too smart mobile phones we are using. Now we know that there is some operating system for mobile phones. But earlier days, means the mobile phones where we start with a very small, not smart phones itself. That time also we are using some operating system inside. Okay. Nowadays popular one is Android and iOS is a more popular Windows mobile operating system. And of course there is some other mobile operating system like Symbian from Nokia. Nokia used from so many years the Symbian operating system. Tizen is a Samsung. BlackBerry from BlackBerry only. BlackBerry actually it is more popular earlier. Then later lot of operating system, lot of facilities came. Earlier only 2G, GPRS kind of connectivity. So BlackBerry that time having so many other facilities like messaging facilities, mailing communications. Okay, so earlier days you want to do all-in-one mobile phone like a mail communication, messaging communication, internet. If you want it, you have to take BlackBerry, no other choice. Okay, so that's the thing. Of course, HTC kind of mobile phones also came. That is with the Windows operating system. Windows Phone also one of the mobile phone operating system. Okay, compulsory. This is the question, guys. What is the difference between Android and iOS? Okay. Common questions. I am telling a common knowledge questions. I don't say everybody will get it. Windows and Mac OS. Android phone and Apple iPhone difference. Windows and Mac OS differences. Windows and Linux differences. These are the common questions. Laptop and desktop differences. Intel and AMD differences. Anything can be asked. Okay, last one in this part, guys. So then we'll take a break. Actually, yeah, this very small one, and it has become very big one. I will try. Guys, this is only one part, that is difference between Windows and Linux. Difference between Windows and Linux. Windows operating system is not a open source, but whereas a Linux is a open source. Okay, is a open source. Windows operating system is not a open source, whereas a Linux is a open source. Guys, what is meant by open source? Some people say open source means it's a free operating system. Open source means it is a free operating system. No. Open source does not mean free operating system. Open source does not mean free operating system or a free application kind of stuff. The source code is free. Okay, some people interprets this kind of stuff. What is it is free application. Application is free. Means you no need to pay for an application. You are not paying to for buying an application. Okay, so you have some application is there, and you download this application and using. You need to pay for application. People say it is a open source. No, guys, no. Free definitely does not mean open source. Maybe open source application or operating systems are free, but free application or free operating system not open sources. Okay, does not mean open sources. I'm not saying it's not open source. I'm saying it does not mean open sources. Okay, open source means the source code of an application or an operating system. So every operating system or an application is nothing but a code, right? It is nothing but a code, a program. This program code is open, means anybody can able to access this program code, and they can develop this program code. They can develop as per their requirement. They can develop as per their requirement, and they can distribute also. That is called a open source. Actually say the Linux is not an operating system. Linux is nothing but a kernel. Linux actually it is a kernel, open source kernel operating system. Linux is a open source kernel operating system. See, this is the Linux kernel. If you want to develop your own Linux operating system, then this is the part. Download this Linux kernel, and you can start coding and make it as your own operating system. Like this. Red Hat Enterprise Linux, CentOS, Fedora. Okay, so like this. different operating systems. Okay, scientific Linux, Asian Linux. So different type of Linux operating systems are there. So these are a different. So Red Hat, Fedora, Ubuntu, SUSE. Okay. So different type of Linux. So not only this, there is a black track, the Slakeware, Debian. Okay, Debian. See how many Linux are there now. Okay, Linux Mint, Ubuntu. There is a new Linux is also came into market. Kali Linux. Kali Linux is also one of the Linux operating system. AWS Linux is there. Windows, Microsoft Linux, not Windows Linux. Microsoft Linux is also coming into market. Okay, so it is a open source operating system, means the source code is available. The kernel part of Linux means the Linux kernel is the open source wise, it is available. Just download it and develop as per your requirement. Maybe if you are feeling you are a good developer, then learn how to develop your own operating system and distribute it. Okay, so this is what I am trying to say, open source. Okay, so that is, and no proprietary. It is a no proprietary, means there is a no ownership on the this Linux operating system. Okay, Linux, not Linux based operating system, Linux kernel do not have any proprietary. Means you don't need to take any permission from any organization. Just you have to download and develop as per your requirement. Okay, you can change the code also, no problem. That's why it is no proprietary. And it is developed by Linus Torvalds. Linus Torvalds. That's why it is called Linux. Linus Torvalds. Okay, is actually build this Linux kernel, and you can go to TED Talks. This is a TED Talk. Okay, so this is the TED Talk. Actually, this is a good one. You can just go through once. You will understand the way programmers think only. What is meaning of programmer is you will understand. Okay, so he's just a programmer. That's it, not more. Okay. Yeah, still he has 53 years, Helsinki, Finland. Okay, he is the person take a Unix as a Unix kernel, part of Unix kernel, and develop a Linux kernel. So the name of Linux came from his name and Unix. Linus Torvalds Linux. Actually, it is called Linux. Okay. Next, coming to the Windows operating system, guys, it is not an open source. It means the source code is not available outside. You cannot alter the source code. And Microsoft Windows operating system are a proprietary of Microsoft. The founder is Bill Gates. Current CEO is Satya Nadella. Okay, it is a completely under Microsoft organization only. Whereas Linux do not have comes under any organization. Different organizations having their different development. Okay. So GUI based Linux. Okay, so sorry. Windows is a GUI based. Mainly we operate a Windows operating system in graphical user interface only. Less CLI, very less we use a command line interface. More we use GUI interface. Whereas in a Linux, the CLI is very powerful. The command line interface is more powerful. Lot of things we do, all the administration we do by commands only. We less use of GUI, less use of, very less, not just less, very less use of GUI. And again, in Microsoft Windows, guys, only Microsoft will distribute the Windows operating system like Windows 7, Windows 8, or Windows 10, or Windows 11. All are from Microsoft only, but in a Linux, any person can able to take the kernel and develop and distribute as their own operating system. like a different operating systems are came like a Ubuntu, CentOS, Red Hat Enterprise Linux, Debian, Fedora, just I don't know like that. Mostly in Windows, the commands are not a case sensitive. Commands, file names, folder names are not cases. The only one or two places except that one, remaining entirely not a case sensitive. In Linux, it is a completely case sensitive. To use a Windows operating systems, guys, you need a license. You have to pay for that license. Okay, in a Linux based operating systems, most of them are a free licenses. Okay, and it is comes under GPL, General Public License. Current version is version 2. GNU not Unix. GNU means GNU not Unix. And some people just they will talk in different things, but simply, guys, Windows based viruses won't work in a Linux. That is a virus free because of most of the viruses created and it easily executed in Windows based operating system, but those kind of viruses not react in the Linux because of execution is different from Windows to Linux. Windows to Linux, the execution of file is different. The file supporting, okay, executable file supporting is also different. Okay. The next one is we have a desktop based operating system, server based operating system in Windows. Windows desktops are there, Windows server operating system two type. Generally Linux operating systems are a server based operating systems only. Very less desktop based operating system. Of course, Windows is more user friendly because it's a GUI interface. Any normal person can operate Windows based operating system. And whereas in Linux based operating systems, generally we need a trained professional. A lot of things they have to learn because mostly it's CLI based operating system, not much a GUI based kind of stuff. Guys, very important things again. Windows is a single user multitask. Linux is multi-user multitask. Okay, underline one, compulsory concentrate. The case sensitive is also a very good thing. Okay, so single user, single task, sorry, single user multitask, multi-user multitask. One more is there. Windows is a basically GUI based operating system. Windows is basically GUI based operating system. Okay, so for running a graphical related programs, it need a more hardware. It need a more hardware. So for example, I have taken Windows system and Linux system. Okay, Linux is not having more GUI, means it is a CLI, more coloring, background running, not required. So obviously, Linux utilize less hardware. Windows utilize more hardware. That's a require more hardware footprint. Less hardware footprint means Windows consumes more hardware resources. Linux consumes more Linux consumes less hardware resources. I'll remove this one. So this is the better. So this is your task, right? So you have to find out the things. Guys, this is the Windows and Linux differences. Okay. Anybody having any questions? More questions? Next one, there is a small part about a Windows 10. So about a Windows 10 features, some features we will discuss, and about a Windows 10 editions, minimum requirements. Okay, what is upgradation, migration kind of things, type of activations, architectures. This part you know already how to check system configuration. That is, we don't go through that one. Okay, and in Windows also we have a registries, services. Okay, and also we'll try to discuss about drivers and applications, how to troubleshoot application related issues, BSOD kind of related issues. Okay, and what is safe mode, what is system restore, this kind of stuff. Okay, now take a 10 minutes or 10 minutes break. Come back in 12:15. Do not close, guys. Means if you close, better to join back. Already less